Guys, I don't know if we'd had this peg coming into the season, but our game of the week, presented by IHOP, is down in Tampa on Monday Night Football. And, well, drama just follows the Steelers. Kind of like syrup follows the pancake.
Oh, I like it.
IHOP, let's go.
Done.
Hey, this week, the drama involving Antonio Brown and his frustration over the lack of impact, fueled, of course, by the Twitter trade talk and the missed meetings. On the field, 33 targets and 18 receptions through 2 weeks for AB, but no wins yet for Pittsburgh, and therein lies the real problem. Making matters worse, they get arguably the hottest team in football this week down in Tampa. Leading the way for the Bucs, Ryan Fitzpatrick, now the only player in NFL history to throw for 400 yards and 4 touchdowns in back-to-back games to start a season, and boy, is he doing it in style.
It's fun, you know. I'm just trying to enjoy the ride, you know, and I've had so many ups and downs in my career. So, you know, when it's going good, you learn to enjoy the ride, and we'll try to keep this thing going. The confidence is high, and we've just got to make sure we keep hitting on those plays. And you know, those guys in the huddle believe in me, and I believe in them, and you know, good things will happen.
I'll be honest, I still don't know what Fitzpatrick said. Too mesmerized by the outfit, right?
He was dripping.
Between the chains, the chest hair, they had the whole deal going. By the way, the king of post-game swag, Cam Newton, said that he called Fitzpatrick's outfit groovy sauce.
Wow. I was saying
Coach, you're into that, right?
Before you two were born.
That's how old that is. You.
Hey, the same could be said, though, about Fitzpatrick's performance thus far. He's nearly doubled his career average in passing yards per game and in passer rating, which is ridiculous. So how does he continue that trend
he's not
against the Steelers?
Groovy, but he's in a groove. Because to get the kind of numbers you're talking about, it's the subtlety of what he's doing, the way he's manipulating defenses and where he's putting the ball. You can see exactly what I'm talking about with this first play. Now, right now, he knows from the get-go, he's got to account for this guy right here because he's going to have a route that he's got an out route here and a corner. So if he can keep that free safety off this play, he's going to have a big game. So what does he do? Look at his vision. His vision totally takes the safety away from where the play is going to be. The safety's out of position right now. He's got no chance. Therefore, you've got a big play down the field, and it's touchdown. Now, the next one is not so much about manipulating the defense, but it's about the throw. Here they're going to, right now, same way. He knows he's got a good double combination here. He's going to end up with what amounts to a stack route, which is a post and an inside route. So for him, it's all about, okay, does the route take care of the inside defender? And yes, it does. So he knows right now I'm good to go. So now the subtlety is, where do I have to put this ball? And you've got to be exact. I want you to look where he puts this thing. It's got to be right as you approach that hash right there. If it's too far over, the safety can undercut it. If it's too far back. So like I said, it's the subtlety of what he's doing to defenses and the way he's delivering that has him performing just out of his mind.
And he's got to have some good pass pro, Coach. You want to throw deep like that, you've got to be protected. 2 things I've noticed in the first 2 weeks of the season, guys. A lot of sloppy pass protection and really a lot of sloppy defense, specifically in pass coverage. Now, when you look at the Steelers, I know there's a lot of drama right now about the offense, the wide receivers, the running backs that aren't there. But how about this defense? They've given up 19 big plays already. And let me show you what they're struggling with from a pass coverage standpoint. It's really formationally is how it gets started, Coach. Trips for left formation right here. This is something that shows up when you watch film time and time again. They're struggling with their spacing and with who's got who. So Chiefs go trips left last week. And I want you to watch both these guys right here. All right? They are both going to cheat in on Kelsey right here. Right here, they're both of their eyes are locked in right here, and they're getting sucked in by Kelsey, who's just running a little curl route right here. They've got no regard right now for this seam route. And this is an easy throw for Mahomes for a touchdown. Now, I know the defensive coordinator, Keith Butler, is saying, hey, guys, look, we've been over this stuff before. It's trips left. Well, they kept getting it, and I expect Dirk Cutter to do more trips left. Here's just a different way that they get to trips left. They motion Tyreek Hill over here. Now you've got the trips left with the running back, the tight end, and the wide receiver. And I want you to watch both of these defenders right here, because on the snap, they are both going to take the running back.
They overcompensated.
All right, they're both right here. Nobody is on the tight end right here. He's wide open. I mean, this is, look, it's not science, Coach. This is just what we call a brain fart. And you can't have that on defense.
Well, that's fair because they doubled Kelsey the last time. So they figured, we'll just let him go this time.
Yeah.
It's genius. It's one way to fool them. But when you look at the Steelers and their defense, those big plays, that's the difference between winning and losing a game. And I think, look, they've got to clean all that stuff up. And against Tampa, the deep ball right now, it's something that they have got to find a way to get pressure on the quarterback if they want to fix it.
Just 5 incompletions for Patrick Mahomes this week. 3 of them could have been touchdowns. You showed one of them right there to Travis Kelce. So the Steelers had a little trouble covering the tight end. But the Bucs have shown that they're a little susceptible to some tight end production as well.
Both teams got lit up by tight ends. And here's the problem. It's not going to change because obviously with the Bucs, you got to take care of Evans. You got to take care of Jackson. Obviously with Pittsburgh, you got to take care of Brown. You got to take care of Smith-Schuster. So the tight ends are going to get that one-on-one coverage. And it's very simple in the way. Both the tight ends in these games had a big game. This is a real simple 1-2 combination. This is a basic cross and a shallow route, and you're going to read low to high or high to low. I don't care how you do it. You got the tight end, in this case a wide receiver, and it's a real simple throw for the quarterback because you're worried about on the outside. Now you're going to come back and see the same thing with Philadelphia. They're going to do it with the 2 tight ends, and they're going to run the exact same combination with Ertz and the other tight end. Again, you can do it any way you want. You can read top down or go the other way, but because they're going to double and take care of those big plays that I just showed you that Fitzmagic can do with the Bucs, well, it's going to be the same in terms of Ben Roethlisberger. We know what he can do down the field. So the tight ends, there's nothing going to change schematically. The tight ends are going to get one-on-one. The key is which team can match up better with these tight ends one-on-one.
DJ Bucky here, looking at the battle for L.A., Buck, and we're not talking Dodgers, Angels here. We're not talking USC, UCLA. We've got Chargers, Rams in one of the biggest games of the NFL weekend.
Yeah, huge game. And in this game, this is going to be about the Chargers front seven, namely their linebackers, slowing down Todd Gurley, maybe the best offensive player in football.
Well, everybody knows about Todd Gurley. I want to tell you about a player for the Chargers maybe a lot of folks aren't familiar with, and that's Kaiser White, their rookie linebacker, has been outstanding through 2 games. But a lot of attention has gone to Derwin James, and rightfully so. But when you watch Kaiser White and his instincts, not only in the run game, but what he's done in coverage, get your eyes where they need to be. You see how fluid he is. Open up your hips, drive on the football, fully extend, and make an interception. Buck, this is just an example of his athleticism. He was a college safety who dropped down to linebacker and is playing at an extremely high level. And he's going to need to play at a high level against Todd Gurley because, as we know, him running the football is a challenge. Once he gets out of the backfield, I think it gets even more difficult. So Kaiser White, very key player here for the Chargers.
Oh, he's a key player. He's going to have to play great because Todd Gurley will challenge the Chargers, not only as a runner but as a receiver. He is terrific. And the way Sean McVay runs this offense, he always puts Todd Gurley in a situation where you have to account for him, whether it's coming out of the backfield, catching passes, whether it's running the ball inside or out. He is a difference maker, an impact player. You see the speed to get to the corner. His ability to put the ball in the paint is worrisome. You have to build your game plan around stopping him because if you stop him, then you got a better chance of containing the other guys, the Brandon Cooks, the Cooper Kupps, the Robert Woods. But it all begins with stopping Todd Gurley. I just haven't seen many teams that are able to do so.
All right, give us a pick here. What do you like in this one, Buck?
Oh, man, in the Battle of L.A., I'm going to go with the Rams. I think the Rams have the star power on offense and defense. More importantly, I believe they have the better offensive play call than Sean McVay. I'm with the Rams all day.
Yeah, look, Ken Wisden has done a nice job calling plays here for this Chargers offense. I think this could be a shootout. We talked about the stopping Todd Gurley and the running back challenge that the Rams present. Well, the Chargers aren't too bad with that little 2-headed monster they've got as well, and they've got to get those backs on the linebackers on the other side for the Rams in this one. I think it's a very close game. Could be a shootout. I'll take the Chargers in this one in I guess it's a road game, a couple miles away there down at the Coliseum, but this will be must-see TV. Trust me on that one. Can't wait for it.
The 30 targets that he has thus far is one thing, but to catch 28 of those 30 targets is a whole different thing. It's insane. 28 receptions on 30 targets. He's doing it all over the place.
Yeah, and you could make a case that statistically he's the best receiver in this game, a game that includes Julio Jones.
Oh, man.
And the key to it is the way they're using Michael Thomas. Of course, Drew Brees is so comfortable with him, but they're using him all over the field. Here you're going to see motion that shows Drew Brees, well, this is man coverage. And you know what? Here comes some pressure. Greg Williams is going to bring pressure. Well, I know I'm one-on-one with Michael Thomas, and anytime I get one-on-one, this is like you shooting fish in a barrel. Real easy way to avoid the pressure. Now, okay, great. So it's not just the underneath stuff. You can see him at the top of the field right now. And same thing. He's going to check himself. Now, Greg Williams is going to try to hide coverage. No, it's not going to happen. Look what happens. The safety rolls out of it. This is a stop route. The minute he saw the safety roll to the strong side, he immediately came to that stop route to Mike Thomas. Now, it's the same thing. You can get into a trips alignment right here. He's at the bottom of the screen. And now, what do? They line everybody up. They got 9 guys from the hash in. They're going to run a deep dig combination underneath the 9 route. So, again, Drew Brees knows by the alignment, these linebackers are running out. There's going to be this hole going away from the numbers. So they're going to find Michael Thomas on the quick little stuff. They'll throw those quick one-step screens to him. They'll throw him in shallow routes. They'll throw him intermediate. They'll throw him deep. He's like, where's Waldo? You're going to have to find Michael Thomas before you stop him.
Yeah. When the Colts and Frank Reich travel to Philadelphia this weekend, they're going to see Carson Wentz for the first time since he played against the Rams in Week 14 last year. The great Aaron Donald, the reigning defensive MVP, coming after him. And on 3rd and 11, the Rams pressure Carson with a 5-man rush. But he is excellent at eluding the rush, stepping up and keeping his eyes down the field. Now, once he gets his eyes down the field, now he's trying to find his moving target, which is Torrey Smith. And under the pressure of Michael Brockers actually hitting his hand here, he's still able to make this accurate throw. The Colts are going to have to deal with Carson Wentz and this ability. How accurate will he be after a 9-month layoff and a rehabilitation of his ACL? Frank Reich knows Carson Wentz better than anybody.
Tripped up inside the 25.
Carson Wentz threw a bunch of touchdown passes against the Rams in his last game action. He loved this route here. Trey Burton to the corner and the back to the flat. And on this route combination to the short side of the field, he's going to read the underneath defender. It's a high-low concept. When he sees this corner driving on the underneath route, he knows right now where to go with the ball. To Trey Burton in the end zone. And it's a perfect throw where only Trey Burton can get it. Will Carson Wentz have this kind of touch after a 9-month layoff? The Colts are about to find out.
3rd down, Wentz throws, pass, caught, end zone, Burton, touchdown.
Colts come to Philadelphia, they're going to have a new middle linebacker, Darius Leonard. The rookie out of South Carolina State leads the NFL in tackles after 2 weeks. Last week against the Redskins, he helped keep the Redskins out of the end zone all day. Here Jamison Crowder comes on the fly sweep, and he sees it, and he's got a nose for the ball. He gets a jump here. Now, when he gets there, he's got to defeat the block first. So he keeps his outside arm free and his eyes up. And when he gets to Crowder, he gets there in a bad frame of mind. He's going to knock this ball out. Ball's going to be out. Malik Hooker's going to pick it up. Now, in replay, this fumble got overturned. The Redskins kept the ball. But those are the kind of hits that Darius Leonard has made through the first 2 weeks of the season. He gives the Colts defense a real chance. I think the Colts will use Darius Leonard as a blitzer this week, like they did last week against the Redskins. Use him as a blitzer and a spy on Carson Wentz. His athletic ability to make these kind of plays. When Alex Smith goes in play action, he turns around. Leonard is right there. He keeps him right in his periscope. Now, once he gets there, he's able to take Alex Smith down. And when he does take him down, he's got a pretty good sack dance as well. But I like the Eagles in this game 23-13 in Carson Wentz's debut.
Smith is buried. And it's Leonard again.
Taking a look here at the Patriots and Lions Sunday night matchup in Shawnee. Another instance here for Bill Belichick of mentor versus protege. So is it Mr. Miyagi or is it Daniel LaRusso that's going to get the win here?
Well, I think Mr. Miyagi is going to find a way to wax on, wax off. And when you look at Matt Patricia, he was a defensive coordinator for the Patriots, right? So you'd think that the defense in Detroit would be good. Wrong. 78 points in 2 games.
Aye.
So to me, it's all about how do they eliminate the bad football. For Detroit, you got to take care of the football. You can't have turnovers like this. We saw against the Jets on Monday night to open up the season. Coach, that's no way to win football games. Matt Patricia knows it. And I think he knows better than anybody. If you want to beat the Patriots, you can't play bad football. You can't beat yourself. It's almost like that Mike Tyson effect. A lot of people were beat before they got in the ring. And I think that you can't turn the ball over. You got to eliminate all the sloppy football if you want to give yourself a chance to beat the Patriots. Do your job in Detroit.
Yeah, well, what Jacksonville did to the Patriots is they made Tom Brady play small ball. Now, Brady's done that before very successfully, but they didn't do it successfully, obviously, against the Jacksonville Jaguars. And the key is, can the Detroit Lions make them play small ball, throw down and check downs. Gronk only had 2 receptions. They were 4 of 12 on 4th down, and one of those was a unique Tom Brady, scramble for 10 yards. So that's going to be the key for Detroit. Can you not give up the big play? Can you make Tom Brady go small ball and keep him from putting together those 12, 13 play drives? What bodes well for the Patriots, when the Patriots have been outscored by 10 points or more, when they come back, I want to make sure my numbers are right here, they're 7-0. Brady's 17 touchdowns, no interceptions. And against 0-2 teams, they're 12-0. Those numbers don't add up well for the Detroit Lions.
What's up, everybody? DJ Bucky looking at a matchup of 2 of the best young quarterbacks in the NFL, and one playing better than anybody else. That's Pat Mahomes, the Kansas City Chiefs. They're taking on the San Francisco 49ers and Jimmy G.
I mean, I know everyone is real excited about Pat Mahomes, but don't temper your excitement for Jimmy Garoppolo. Look, the young quarterback is beginning to settle in for the San Francisco 49ers. We're seeing him push the ball to the perimeter, and even though he doesn't have marquee names on the outside, Kyle Shanahan's scheme has created some opportunities. We saw them get back on track a little bit against the Detroit Lions. I expect them to get even better this week. I like what Jimmy Garoppolo is doing. It has been difficult dealing with the counter adjustments that defense coordinators are throwing at him, but he's getting better. I think he takes another step forward this week in this game.
Well, he's going to need to have a big game because Chiefs coming off 2 big-time offensive performances, especially from their quarterback Pat Mahomes on the road. Now this one is in Kansas City. I talk about playing well on the road. Let's look back last week in the Pittsburgh game. Buck, we saw 6 touchdowns from Pat Mahomes, only 5 incompletions. Let's look at some of these incompletions. This is a total blown coverage here by the Steelers. 2 guys going to the flat with Kareem Hunt. You've got Kelsey wide open in the end zone. Mahomes gets a little bit of pressure and just barely misses him. So that's one of the only 5 incompletions. Now, let's take a look at another one. Again, formation, matchups. You get Sammy Watkins lined up on TJ Watt. There's no safety help. Are you kidding me? How do you get this designed to get this matchup that you want? Mahomes just misses this one a little bit. So that's 2 incompletions that could have been touchdowns. You see, look at Watt looking back like, are you serious right now? You're not going to give me any safety help over the top? And let me give you one more here. This could have been a 99-yard touchdown. You want to press Tyreek Hill with no safety help. Safety's going to drive underneath. Buck, I would not advise this. I would not advise this to the 49ers. And this one is just missed. So Pat Mahomes, everybody's player of the week, and he should have been. 6 touchdowns. He's playing out of his mind, Buck. 5 incompletions, 3 of those incompletions, those were touchdowns as well. Man. So there is even more meat on the bone for this Kansas City offense.
I feel like, are you ready to give him a red jacket, a gold jacket? Like, you ready to put him in the Hall of Fame? You ready to put him in the Chiefs Ring of Honor and give him a gold jacket after two games? He's been phenomenal. That offense has been terrific.
I'm giving Andy Reid the old pat on the back, because they are scheming this thing up, and to his credit, he's not missing often.
But last year, it was all about Jimmy Garoppolo. What has happened? Why is everybody off the bandwagon? Everyone is all on the new shiny toy and Pat Mahomes. What about Jimmy G? Look, Jimmy G is coming off a bounce-back performance, had 2 touchdowns, no interceptions, completed almost 70% of his passes. He's back on track. I just don't know if it's going to be good enough against the Chiefs. The Chiefs' offense is explosive. It's terrific. I'm going to go with the Chiefs in this one.
All right, Buck, because I know you know your football and the time you've spent there in Kansas City, I'm going to let you make my pick for me, and we're going to do it in this fashion. And the home of the
Chiefs, man, look, like
that was no enthusiasm. Where's your enthusiasm?
Come on, that's a lot. That's Chiefs. A lot for me.
You didn't give me any of that.
That's a lot. That's a lot.
That's fine. We both like the Chiefs. There you go.
We got another division game to talk about here. How about the Titans visiting the Jaguars down in Duval? And, well, the Titans had to do it last week without Marcus Mariota. Blaine Gabbert coming in, throwing for 117 yards. Yeah, look, the stat line's not huge, but he was able to engineer a victory over another division rival in the Houston Texans. So if you are the Titans, how do you win a game where one of your starting safeties nearly leads the team in passing, and Kevin Byard did so on a fake punt, and you give up over 427 yards of total offense? Well, you got to be pretty good at keeping the team out of the end zone.
Yeah, you got to keep Blake Bortles out. Who would have thought we'd be asking the Tennessee Titans to keep up with Bortles? But that's exactly what he did on a very hot day against the Patriots. He was hot, red hot, in the red zone. To me, it was all about location, location, location. Trips left formation right here. They're going to run 2 slants on the outside, tight end on the inside, run a little bit of a rub route right here. But look at this throw. This is what Blake Bortles couldn't give them really last year. Yeah, he was battling a wrist injury, but this throw right here, it's money. How about this next throw right here, Rhett? This is one-on-one. He recognizes man coverage to the right, sneaks a little peek right as it gets a snap here just to make sure, yep, I got man coverage. I've got the corner with his back to me. Look at this ball right here. All right, it's jump ball right now. His receiver, Dante Moncrief, does a great job catching that ball. This red zone throw right here is going to be huge against the Tennessee Titans. You know what that is right there? A man-to-man coverage against the tight end? That's Malcolm Butler. That's right. The Malcolm Butler that ruined the Super Bowl for a team that threw the ball on the 1 yard line. All right, well, Malcolm Butler does a better job than most corners of finding the ball while it's in the air. He does a great job of feeling the man coverage with his hands and locating the ball with his eyes. That's one thing to keep an eye on in this game. The Tennessee Titans, they're 1 for 6 in the red zone. 6 trips, they've only given up 1 touchdown. Malcolm Butler is a big key if you want to go man-to-man and try to exploit that.
Yeah, defensively, this is a little bit different task for the Houston Texans, because that defense was spectacular. We talked about it earlier, where they made Brady play small ball. Well, that's not going to work for them. So they just can't, that's not going to work in this game, because small ball's not going to get it done for them. Blake Bortles is going to have a lot of short fields if they try to throw the ball down the field too easily. They're going to get some turnovers and have some short fields for the Jacksonville Jaguars.
See if the Jaguars can get Leonard Fournette back as well to add to their attack.
When Dallas travels to Seattle this week, they're going to pack a very good defense. A defense where the coverage is married to the pass rush. On this play here, the Panthers are going to flood the short side of the field with 3 players. And the Cowboys are going to box it, a box zone with 4 players. Perfect position right here as Cam Newton looks to his 3 receiver side. There is a diamond surrounding all 3 players. 4-man box. And when Cam Newton looks there, deep to short, he realizes he's got no place to go with the ball. All the while, the pass rush, just a 4-man rush, is closing in on Cam Newton, and Jalen Smith would end up sacking him on this play. Now, from the end zone, the same play, this is what the Cowboys are doing. They're running what we call a long limbo. The tackle in the end are coming inside, and the opposite tackle is going to loop all the way around. They want to trap Cam Newton in the pocket. And right here, not only do they trap him, but they collapse him. Now, Newton, the athlete that he is, tries to escape, but the speed of the linebacking core gets him down to the ground. I love the way the Cowboys are playing defense right now. On the other hand, I don't like the way Seattle is operating on offense right now. They were in Chicago on Monday night. This is a short week for them, a long trip back. But let's watch what Chicago did to frustrate Russell Wilson here.
Wilson from his own goal line, in trouble there.
Nothing complicated at all. 4-man rush, and behind that 4-man rush, they're playing a cover 3 zone. 3 deep, 4 underneath. Everybody has a route combination to defeat this cover 3. Now, when Russell Wilson takes his first look here, it's going to be to Brandon Marshall. And he's looking right at him. He doesn't like what he sees. Not only is the corner all over, but he's got an underneath defender lurking, reading the eyes in zone coverage. By the time he tries to go to his second read here, the weight of the 4-man pass rush collapses on Russell Wilson. He's lucky that he avoided the safety. Now let's take a look at what the Bears did. The Bears are going to rush just their front 4. Of course, number 4 is Khalil Mack. He's a difference maker. He changes the game. So Seattle counters with a 7-man protection. Now, the tight end, number 81 here, is going to give tacit help on his way out. He's going to give him just a hand, just to try to slow down Khalil Mack. Maybe he should just stay on him the whole time. Nick Vanna, right there. There's the hand trying to slow him down. Slow him down for the right tackle. Remember, this week it's going to be DeMarcus Lawrence of the Cowboys in that spot that the right tackle, Jermaine Ifedi's got to handle. But he can't handle the power rush. He gets collapsed. And right here, the weight of the rush falls on Russell Wilson. I like the Cowboys in this game 17-13 because of their defense.
Take a look at this Giants-Texans game, battle of 0-2 teams that really need to get one. And boy, for the Texans, Coach, they didn't get the win, but it certainly seemed like they were more explosive with Will Fuller in the lineup.
Yeah, and that makes a big difference. And part of it has to do with how are you going to deal with Deshaun Watson? When you go passive against Watson, he's averaging better than 10 yards per attempt. When you pressure him, that cuts down to about 5 yards per attempt.
So bring the heat.
Bring the heat. But in doing so, you got to make sure you take care of this guy, Will Fuller. Because in the 5 games they've played together, Will Fuller has gone off. He's had 8 touchdowns in those 5 games. When Deshaun Watson isn't in the lineup, in those 20 games, he only has 2 touchdowns. So obviously, you got to pressure Watson, but you got to make sure you take care of those big receivers down the field. Otherwise now, as we always say, explosive plays are going to kill you. Being passive isn't going to cut it against the Deshaun Watson and the Texans.
Well, if James Betcher, the defensive coordinator for the Giants, is watching, he's going to follow the suit and bring pressure. Nobody brought more pressure than him in the last 3 years. in Arizona 41% of the time, so he's bringing the heat. But when I look at this Giants team, I don't recognize this offensive line.
Oh, boy.
I don't know what in the wide world is going on here.
Oh, boy.
It's simple protections, fellas. All you got to do is block the guy in front of you. I can't see any more of this, Rhett. This is making me want to come back.
Hurts.
And it's Taco Charlton, the defensive end. Block him. All right? The defensive tackle, Calais Campbell, block him. It's elementary football. They had 6 sacks against the Dallas Cowboys. Only one of them did they get beat physically. 5 mental errors caused these sacks. Guess who they're playing? J.J. Watt.
It's a pretty good yeah.
Who's looking for his first sack in 2 years, so you know he's going to be hungry. And Jadeveon Clowney and Whitney Merciless. Whitney Merciless coming back off an injury. This front coach is so powerful. I think they've got to run the football early on, but certainly got to do a better job in pass protection.
When the Bears pay a visit to the desert to play the Cardinals, they're going to see the last-ranked offense in football in 6 different categories. They were shut out by the Rams on Sunday. But here's an example on 3rd and 15 is Larry Fitzgerald is going to run this little curl route right to the sticks. And it's right where Sam Bradford wants to go. And he's looking right at him. He needs just a little bit of time for Fitz to get to the sticks. But as he hesitates 1 second, he gets blasted. The ball pops up, and Aqib Talib will play over the top and knock this ball out. And it foils an opportunity for the Cardinals to get a first down on 3rd and 15. Now let's look at the same play from the end zone and see what the Rams are doing up front. They're going to rush just 3 defensive linemen. A 3-man rush. They're dropping 8 into coverage. On 3rd and 15, that's not uncommon in this league. The Cardinals are going to answer with a 6-man protection here. DJ's going to help out in protection. 6 against 3. Sam Bradford should have time to be able to survey the field, look down the field, and make this throw to Larry Fitzgerald. Except as he throws, he gets blasted, and it affects the throw. The Bears are coming to town, and they're more than capable of doing this and ruining the Cardinal offense this Sunday. The Bears are playing better defense here against Seattle on Monday night. They're going to rush after Russell Wilson with just 4. They're going to play just a cover 3 zone here on this 2nd and 15 situation. Now, here's the cover 3, right? They're going to have 3 deep. They're playing 4 underneath. And they're going to take Russell Wilson's first read away with that zone look. Cornerback is in perfect position, shadowing Brandon Marshall. That's exactly where Russell Wilson is looking. He can't get to a second read because he doesn't have time to get to a second read. The front 4 collapses.
2nd and 15. Wilson from his own goal line in trouble there.
The front 4 has been ferocious here so far this season in 2 games. All right, you get Floyd, Goldman. They've got an excellent rush. Of course, Khalil Mack is the star. He only played 49 snaps on Monday night. He's still getting himself into shape. You have to give him attention. Here, Nick Van Eck, the tight end, is going to give him tacit help by just getting his hand on him, trying to slow him down. But that doesn't slow Khalil Mack down. He's going to collapse this pocket right here and not allow Russell Wilson to get to his second read. Sam Bradford has got to get the ball out of his hands fast. I don't think he's going to have time to get the ball down the field this week against this pass rush. Khalil Mack is just a difference maker. He changes the game, and he changes the type of attention as he looks for the tight end coming in motion right here. He's aware. He's used to seeing double teams and even triple teams, the way Seattle sent 3 at him on this play. 3 at him, they're holding him, they're grabbing him. They're not going to let him get to Russell Wilson. That's fine. He's used to it. Somebody else has to win. And that's where I think Chicago has the advantage this weekend. They've got other players that can win beside Khalil Mack. I like the Bears in the desert. 23-13 this weekend.
Coach, we got a cat fight down in Carolina. The Bengals taking on the Panthers. Joe Mixon's out with an injury. How did the Bengals get a win on the road?
Well, we know that Andy Dalton is a prototypical pocket quarterback, but Bill Lazor, the offensive coordinator, is doing kind of some fun, interesting things with their play-action game. And you can see it's all a variation on a thing.
Call them creative cats?
Sure, exactly right. This is a typical waggle, and they've got a vertical with a little slam and underneath route. But the unique thing is they bring the offside tight end. It's like the second sleeve or second ace up your sleeve. Look at the hole that's created here when you don't have that conventional vertical and flat guy. You bring in that second ace that I'm talking talking about. Now they get down on the goal line, and again, they kind of show the same thing. They're going to motion in here, and they're going to bring him across the formation. But I got A.J. Green going across in a crossing route on the back of the end zone. So obviously Andy Dalton's going to do the same thing, fake a little bit of a flip, see A.J. Green with nothing over in front of him, out to the corner of the end zone and touchdown. Now this is the one I really like. Same type of look. You're going to see in a 2-receiver route here. Yeah, he's going to do that same cross action underneath. So Andy Dalton's going to show it look like the same play. And instead of the crosser going across the field, he changes direction. They're ready for him to be the crossing route like you typically do on the boot or the waggle, and they take him on a deep corner. So I like the way that even though they're a drop-back team, and they're only going to do a handful of those, they're kind of creative in what they're doing. Just enough of a change-up to calm down that rush, because you have to worry about Andy Dalton breaking, containing, and making these kind of throws.
So the Bengals are getting creative. Well, I want the Panthers to go straight Thundercats. I want Norv Turner on the sideline saying snarf, snarf, because he's just getting downhill, and I want them to run to win.
Snarf,
and I'm not
snarf.
talking about Cam Newton running. I want to see Christian McCaffrey and C.J. Anderson in between the tackles. Now, when you look at the way that they ran the ball against Atlanta, and this is right in the beginning part of the game, look, this is C.J. Anderson downhill, and Cam Newton's going to bring an element to the run game that not every quarterback can bring. He freezes Vic Beasley right here, freezes 42 right here with the element and the illusion of the run, and you get C.J. Anderson downhill on a safety like that. That's a punishing run. That's how you take over a defense. How about a 9-man box? Guess what? Carolina says, I don't care. We're going to run it. We've got 2 great double teams up front. We're going to find a crease. I think Christian McCaffrey is better in between the tackles than people give him credit for. This is what I want to see Carolina doing. I want to see him running to winning. When you look at Norv Turner, all right, 8 times he's made the playoffs as an offensive coordinator or a head coach. 7 of those times he had a 1,000-yard rusher. I don't know if it's going to be C.J. Anderson or Christian McCaffrey. It sure as heck shouldn't be Cam Newton that has a 1,000-yard rushing, but I think they've got to find a way to get physical. That's how you win games at home.
Yeah, you think about the Cincinnati Bengals. How are they built defensively? Well, we've got to account for the passing game of the Pittsburgh Steelers, okay? And we know that Joe Flacco is very good with the Baltimore Ravens and the ability to throw the ball down the field. So you're exactly right. For a Carolina Panther team, for a defensive team like Cincinnati that maybe is a little bit smaller, to line up and get big and get downhill and get physical, you're breaking the prototypical look of an offense that now says, I'm gonna come at these smaller guys, these nickel-type defenses that you put in, and I can do it with my 3 wides personnel. It doesn't have to be big people all together. Sure. So I think you're onto something there. I'd get down here and get physical with my 3 wides personnel and still go ahead and get downhill between the tackles.
The Carolina Panthers have lost a couple of offensive linemen. Both their tackles ended up on IR. And if you're playing Geno Atkins in this front, you don't want him teeing off on you. So they all want to run the football. It's going to be a fun cat fight down in Carolina.
When the Raiders travel across the country to the Miami Dolphins this weekend, they're going to see a rebuilt defense, a defense that's playing well and has been opportunistic. Here the Titans run the post-dig combination. And Marcus Mariota is going to read the free safety on the play. If the free safety goes with the post route like he does right here, Marcus Mariota's job is to then hit the dig, the crossing route, the in cut. But Rashad Jones is going to keep his eyes on the ball, and he does. When the ball is overthrown, Rashad Jones is in perfect position to see the ball and to get the ball. The Dolphins' defense has been opportunistic. They're taking the ball away, giving extra bats for the offense. I really like the Dolphins in this football game because the way the defense has been playing through the first 2 weeks. Part of the reason why I like the Dolphins is the play of Kiko Alonso. He's off to a great start, making a lot of tackles and making a lot of plays. Now, on this bootleg, when Eric Tomlinson runs this shallow cross, he's going to hunt him up and he's going to plaster him across the field, doing his job. But when the ball is thrown right here to the outside for the first down, Kiko Alonso is going to get to the ball because good things happen when you get to the football. So great hustle right here. Now, when he gets to the ball, he's going to get there and knock the ball out of Robbie Anderson's hands. He's going to cause a fumble, and the Dolphins are going to get the ball. Ball out. Extra bats for the offense. I love the way this Dolphin defense is playing the first 2 weeks.
Darnold, good move to fake out Quinn, and he's got another receiver, and again it's Anderson.
Alonzo there, close to a first down. Oh, is there a fumble on the play? They're digging it out. And it is a fumble.
I like the Dolphins in this game because I think the Raiders are still making too many mistakes. Let's go back to the opening Monday night game of the season. Gruden gets Jared Cook against the strong safety Johnny Johnson on a go route. And Derek Carr does everything right leading up to the throw. He freezes the free safety, looks right at him. He holds him so that Jared Cook can get behind Johnny Johnson. Now, the throw, you can't leave this ball short. Either Jared Cook gets it or nobody gets it. But Derek Carr leaves this ball short and Johnny Johnson comes down with it. Raiders making too many mistakes. The Raiders had a perfect chance on Sunday to extend the 6-0 lead in the second quarter when they had 3rd and 1. And they went heavy right, 3 tight ends to the right. Beast mode in the backfield. What other back would you rather have in this situation? And he's going to run a straight dive behind a very well-compensated offensive line. And they get beat at the point. Right here, the right guard gets beat cleanly by Domata Peko. And he takes down beast mode. I don't like the way the Raiders are playing right now. I like the Dolphins in this game, 20-14.
Let's talk Packers and Redskins from FedEx Field here this weekend, and we can't do that without talking about Alex Smith. 2 games in, what do you make?
Yeah, how interesting for Alex Smith and the Washington Redskins. They're going to be watching film of Kirk Cousins.
Oh, boy.
Carving up this Packers secondary. For Alex Smith, really, it's all about points. They lead the league in time of possession, yet only 33 points in the first 2 games, Coach. I don't know, that math doesn't really add up. But I think they got to do a really good job in the red zone, especially against Aaron Rodgers. You know he's going to find a way to make some miraculous throws. But get that guy Jordan Reed more involved. I think he is a weapon for him. And, of course, we know Alex Smith loves to get the tight end involved, and he loves throwing those little down the middle of the field throws. Jordan Reed is a nightmare matchup for any defense. But Alex Smith, I want to see him kind of uncork it a little bit. We know he's going to take care of the ball, but go ahead and let's launch a couple of big throws.
Well, every defensive coordinator tells you the same thing. I don't care about any of the stats other than total points, 3rd down, and red zone. And you talked about the red zone. And that's where the Green Bay Packers, interestingly, had the biggest trouble against the Minnesota Vikings. And I know the Vikings are good, but the Packers were 1-5 down in the red zone. Remember, this was a 29-29 tie. So all they had to do was be one better in that red zone to come away with the win. Now, they're 30th in the league in red zone, but the Washington Redskins are 25th in the league in red zone defense. So obviously something's going to go here. I got to believe that Aaron Rodgers is going to be better in that red zone. Certainly Washington isn't as good as Minnesota. This is what they brought Jimmy Graham in to do, to be an impact in the red zone. We got to see more Jimmy Graham in the red zone for the Green Bay Packers.
Helps, too, when you can run the ball inside the 20 as well. Aaron Jones coming back off suspension for the Packers this week, something else to watch out for.
When Buffalo travels to Minnesota this weekend, Josh Allen will have a touchdown pass to his credit. This one to Kelvin Benjamin. I don't care if there's only 42 seconds left in this game on this post route in the end zone. Josh Allen played a little tall ball right here. Tall quarterback to tall receiver, led him perfectly, and he's going to beat the coverage. Josh Allen got into the record books with his first touchdown pass as a quarterback of the Buffalo Bills. And for that, I drop a little confetti.
That's Clay in motion for the Bills. Allen to the back of the end zone. It's caught. Benjamin. Touchdown, Buffalo.
He also is a great athlete, and he's got good instincts. And when the Chargers blitz off the edge right here and nobody accounts for him, he sees the lane. Just take the yards that are there. Positive gain right here. You got to be able to do it. Now, the one thing I would say to Josh Allen, getting ready for the Vikings, in this situation, learn to slide. Protect yourself. Live for another play.
Out of the gun. Pressure's coming. He steps up and he'll go. And he's tripped up at the 6-yard line. A Dye makes the tackle.
I don't have any qualms or questions about the Minnesota quarterback, Kirk Cousins, or their passing game. Here, Laquan Treadwell is going to run the cross, and Stephon Diggs is going to the post, while Adam Thielen runs the cross with Treadwell. And when Kirk Cousins drops back behind good protection, he notices the free safety, turning and running with the 2 crosses. That leaves this open down the middle of the field to Stephon Diggs. And Kirk Cousins is going to chuck this 55 yards in the air. This is a beautiful 75-yard touchdown completion in their comeback against the Packers. I dropped a little confetti.
Devon House, number 31, bottom of the screen, has played a lot for him. Here's Cousins. Gonna let it fly. Gonna let it go deep for Diggs. He's got it! Stephon Diggs! Touchdown!
I love the way Kirk Cousins is getting the ball to his 2-star wide receivers. On this play, Stephon Diggs is going to run out into the post, and Thielen is going to run this wheel to the pylon. Kirk Cousins is going to take a shot right to his midsection, but the ball is going to go exactly where he wants it to go, right to the pylon. It's Thielen's job to dig and go get this ball. And the throw beats great coverage by the Packers. You can't drop it in any better. I like the Vikings big in this game as they take care of the Bills 31-10.
Cousins pressure, hit as he throws, going for Thielen. He's got it! Waiting for a single touchdown! Oh my!
Taking a look at this Broncos-Ravens game from Baltimore. And, Coach, boy, it was a tale of 2 weeks for this Ravens defense. What's the difference?
Well, the Ravens are facing a murderer's row of receivers. They had A.J. Green with the Cincinnati Bengals this week. They got Thomas and Sanders with the Broncos. Next week, they got the Steelers and that explosive offense. But they're not going to cover anybody if they don't get a better pass rush. That was the interesting thing that I thought against the Cincinnati Bengals. When they rushed, they had 6 sacks against the Buffalo Bills. Well, they had no sacks, no turnovers against the Cincinnati Bengals. When they had a 4-man rush, the Bengals were 13 of 20, as was Andy Dalton, for 4 touchdowns. When they pressured, they were 50-50 with no explosive plays. They've got to be able to get pressure. They're not getting there with a 4-man rush. So that's the key to me. Can they get back to being the Ravens, showing the pressure, go ahead and match up on the outside, dangerous against these good receivers. But if you don't get pressure, then these receivers are going to tear up.
Yeah, and one of the ways you can thwart a pass rush is running the football. And who would have thought that Case Keenum would make this offensive run game even better? I think when you look at Phillip Lindsay and Royce Freeman, 2 rookie running backs, nobody thought they would have this explosion in the run game. So you couple that now with Case Keenum doing a great job on 3rd down and taking care of the football as well. I think this Denver Broncos offense looks completely different. They're physical now. You're averaging 6 yards a carry with that guy. And I think that they're just letting their big dogs up front control the game. That's when I look at this coach. If you run the football like that, now all of a sudden they're not getting after your quarterback. It makes for big plays on 3rd down, but it makes them a lot more manageable as well.
Yeah, a brand new backfield for the Broncos, right? Keenum and then Freeman. How about Phillip Lindsay? Over 100 total yards in each of his first 2 games.
Undrafted free agent.
Pretty
I love it.
Impressive.
And I'll take some more water.
Yeah, you got it. Broncos and Ravens from M&T Bank Stadium, 1 o'clock Eastern kick. We'll see you back here on Wednesday. Bring your playbook at 6:30 Eastern.